Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Kata Studio. So welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you guys are doing good. I really do. So let's see here. I got way too much going on right there. Holy crap, I need to get off of that. All right, there we go. So yeah, we got some, I gotta adjust my lighting here. That's just like a little too, that's horrible. Okay, that's good enough. All right. Gotta love that kind of stuff. All right, so we might as well just go ahead and slide right into it. I do have one of them articles that I find kind of entertaining, and also an article that, is kind of weird because, as I'm getting older, I'm kind of figuring this out more and more. I'm not necessarily old by any means. And hello, Brian over there in YouTube land. Good to see you. He says, doing good, bro. What's up? Not much. Not much. A whole heck of a lot of the usual. Having one of them, it's been cold. It's been cold. It was a whole lot of nothing earlier today whenever I checked the temp. I did go out in it, so that's a positive thing. I don't even think I left the house yesterday. I don't think I did at all. I had like a whole lot of, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't going anywhere. You can't make me. A whole lot of nothing. But today I actually did go out and do something. Good times. Went to the store. Didn't want to do that. But anyway, let's go ahead and start in on this article that I read from the Mirror. And again, as I'm getting older, I'm discovering things that, I guess in a matter of speaking, doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it's like, I can kind of understand why, I guess. This headline from Mirror, as soon as it pops up, here we go. Women are just discovering why their shirt's button on the left and not the right. Why this is an article, I have absolutely no idea. But why people don't realize or remember, because this is something that I learned a long freaking time ago. I learned it, back in junior high school maybe? I don't even remember. Actually, I think it was junior high. I think it was in home ec maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember. But, again, this is an aspect of things that you would think just common everyday, we should know this kind of stuff, that is just going by the wayside and being lost in time. You know, I found it weird. I mean, I did. I found it weird whenever I seen this article. I was like, well, of course, I know why. You know, but why is this even a thing? How can we not remember? Do we not talk to the older generation anymore? You know, I mean, really, do we not? You know, how many of y'all's out there know why women's clothing, the buttons are on the opposite side from guys? Does anybody out there know? Do you guys remember at all? Am I the only one? And hello, Machine over there in YouTube land. And he says, I thought I had a face for radio. Oh, I so have a face for radio. I've seen myself in the mirror. I broke the mirror. I scared myself. I'm like, It was crazy. So, like, am I the only one? And what else out there that you know that seems like it's been lost to the hands of time? Younger generation just have absolutely no clue as to why something is the way that it is. You know, I don't know, just the weird things that, you know, I question about. Next article, we're going to slide into this one. This is from Breitbart, and this is something that, a day trip, hello. The only thing I remember about home ec and Taylorville is sewing buttons on paper towels. Yeah, okay, I got you. Brian put it in, he goes, he has a face only his mom could love. Right. I mean, I remember making, you know, like them locker pocket things. You know, that was one of the things I remember making, you know, that weird blue color, you know, and yeah. And he says, I got a question for you. Well, what is that, sir? What is that, Machine? What's that question that you got for me? But I remember making that one. Right. Oh my God. Yeah, he put, so who does number 2 work for? Okay, so this goes back a few weeks. I don't know, when did you do the first one, Brandon? Because I don't remember. You know, I don't remember, and I need to take pictures of this and post them online, because it really is just absolutely hilarious what the Machine, Brandon over there, what he did and what I came home to find. Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. It made me laugh. So what happened was, I went into the bathroom. Actually, I think I talked to him first or texted him or something, and at that point, I hadn't been to the restroom yet, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But whenever I finally did go into... Brandon puts in and goes, I've slept since then. And Brian says, I remember making apple turnovers and shop aprons. You know, I remember, okay, we made something too. And I'll get back to what Brandon did whenever I got home from the trip. But we made like omelets. That's what we made. I don't remember how many egg omelet. I think, it was small, and they were like, yeah, we're going to make either ham or cheese omelets. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where's the rest of the ingredients? Because, Mom didn't cook just simple, omelets like that. Whenever she cooked an omelet, she went all out. I mean, there was red peppers, green peppers, there was mushrooms, there was ham, there was cheese, there was all kinds of crap that was thrown into there. It wasn't just a ham and a cheese omelet, and I'm like so confused as to, you call this an omelet? This ain't an omelet. I don't know what this is, but this ain't an omelet. But anyway, going back to what Brandon did in my bathroom. So whenever I walked into the bathroom, I seen that both the lid and the seat was down. Now, the seat is one thing, and I can understand that one. But whenever I seen that the lid was down too, I began to question my own safety in that bathroom. I really did. I'm like, holy crap, what kind of surprise is waiting for me in here? If I open this thing up, am I going to have Mr. Hanky looking up at me going, howdy ho? This is what was going through my mind. I kid you not. I was kind of scared a little bit. My heart went pitter pat. It really did. So I opened up the lid and I looked in the toilet bowl and I'm like, okay, so far we're safe. Mr. Hanky isn't in there. He got flushed down. And I tell you what, man, guys, I have a toilet that is pretty well. Now, okay, Brandon, this is not a challenge. I'm talking to you. But I have a toilet that is pretty well, you're not going to clog it, all right? It's pretty well clog proof. I mean, that puppy has a powered flush system on that thing, okay? I mean, it's just not a standard flusher. This is the jet propelled flusher, okay? This thing is made to just eat and cut away. You don't need a knife to send that puppy down the tube. That sucker's going to go. Jet propulsion on that thing, I kid you not. It's basically a clog proof toilet, okay? So if there's a little something sitting in there, then there's something wrong. All right, just throwing that in there. There's something wrong. Now, that is not a challenge. Do not try to clog that puppy up. I'm just saying. Brandon puts in there and goes, it will suck the crap right out of you. Oh, yeah. You don't sit down on my toilet and flush it. You just don't do that, okay? You just, no. It's not a good idea. You just don't do it. So after I lifted the lid of the toilet and found that there was nothing in there, no presents, which was a good thing. I was happy to see that. I'm like, okay, it is time to urinate. So I lifted the seat, and that's when I seen it. Because somebody had put in vinyl lettering on the seat of my toilet, hey, nice dick. And I'm like, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, what else can you say to that? I mean, really, what else can you say to that? And then, we talked about it. We're like, there's, because now that you put that on the seat, we need to put something on the lid too. I had a couple ideas. Brandon had a couple ideas. But what ended up going on my toilet seat was, who does number 2 work for? And it had the little poo emoji with this sitting there like this, like his hand on the chin, and I'm like, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, I was wanting to go with something kind of along the lines of here, kitty, kitty, meow, something. That's kind of where my mind was going. Because, I mean, if you got on the seat, hey, nice dick, then you need to have something for the ladies, But who does number 2 work for? And yeah, so that's what ended up on there. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. And now I'm like, we've got to continue the craziness. We've got all kinds of things that we can put little messages on. Put some vinyl on a door or something that says push to exit or something, that'd be kind of funny. That'd be entertaining for me. We got all kinds of things we can do around here. I mean, it's just time to get crazy and obnoxious with it. I think that's a really good idea. I really do. So, all right, moving on. Let's talk about this headline from Breitbart. Biden White House launches new gun control initiative. Now, from what it looks like from this thing, there's one main thing that he's kind of going after, and that's what they call ghost guns. Ghost guns that are basically homemade guns. It is legal to own. They are legal to possess. They are legal to make. They are, however, illegal to sell. A day trip put in here. He goes, one of my bathroom signs reads, if your hose is too short or pump is too weak, please take a step forward or take a seat. That is absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I like that. I really do. I seen this one that was pretty much the same type of thing. If your aim is not as good as what you think it is, step closer, I tell you what, and we've got to continue into this because the toilet conversations are amazing. And cue the ghost gun song. I don't have a ghost gun song. But anyway, I went into a Love's. All right. And one of the things, because, all right, when you're a guy, now this is, for you ladies, this may be above your head, but anyway, but there's proper bathroom etiquette when you're in the men's room. Whenever you're standing there at the plate, once Flo has commissioned, there's only three places you can face. It's either eyes up, eyes straight ahead, or eyes down, and that's it. There's no variation on that whatsoever. You don't look around no, you don't do that. There's laws against that. Okay. So I'm standing there, I'm in the Love's bathroom, and I look down in the urinal just to kind of see where I was going to aim, where I was going to direct the stream, and on the urinal cake holder, I seen written bananas, 2 for $1. And I'm like, that's amazing. I don't know if that would be the fruit that I would be advertising in the urinal, at the urinal in the men's bathroom, but that's absolutely amazing. So whenever I got out of the bathroom and went to check out, get whatever it was I was getting, I had to ask the cash register person, the cashier. I was like, okay, so whose idea was it to put the sale items on the urinal cake holder and the urinal in the men's bathroom? And the lady kind of gave me a weird look, and she was like, that would be the automotive manager, or the mechanic shop manager. It would be that guy. And I'm like, is he here today? Because I really want to shake that man's hand. That was an amazing idea. That is awesome. I think I'm going to buy a banana. So yeah. It's in your, oh, yeah, okay. Well, it's not, I have to search for it. Now, I'm not going to search for that file. But anyway. But one of the things I've actually thought about doing, is like getting some type of vinyl, like different Target rings or whatever to put in a urinal or in a toilet, wherever the case may be. I think that'd be kind of funny. Just put little Target things, different things to aim at, aim for, just make a game out of it. Why not? We like games. I'm a guy. Of course we like games. Anyway, let's get back to this article. So Biden White House launches new gun control initiative. And it's, it seems like a lot of this is aimed towards, ghost guns. But there is one thing, anti-gun. I'm not looking for it, man. I'm not looking for it. Stop trying to make me. But one of the things in here that I think is absolutely ridiculous, it's appalling, and it's stupid. And that is one of the things that Joe Biden said. Now, this goes back to a comment that he made on February 24th that he was going to go after gun manufacturers. And I heard it not that long ago. This is that's a good idea. Something in there to aim at, to take target practice on, like a picture of Brandon's face. That is absolutely hilarious. Holy crap, that is good. I like that. Good one. But I heard that there was and I didn't check too much into this. I didn't think about, looking for this earlier. But there is, I guess, a few different countries maybe. I don't know. If you guys know anything about this, let me know. But, countries or whatever that are looking to sue different gun manufacturers because they are apparently advertising towards children or whatever. It just sounds stupid. It's like, come on. Really? When was the last time you've actually heard a gun manufacturer actually advertise? You don't really see it, You don't really see it. But anyway, but they're talking about going after the gun manufacturers, making them liable for how somebody else chooses to use a gun. And that's something that I got to be honest with you. It irritates me. It irritates me a lot. You don't go after, Budweiser for somebody getting a DUI. You don't go after the car manufacturer for somebody, killing a family of four or what have you, getting into an accident. You don't see that. This is the only place where all across the board, you blame the individual for whatever crime that he commits, whatever thing that he chooses to do, whatever crime he violates, they blame the person. But whenever it comes to guns and gun crimes, for some reason, they want to blame the manufacturer. Now, let's take it for what it is. Let's take this for what it is. It's a backdoor way of going after gun rights. That's what it is. That's all it amounts to, because they feel as though, and they've tried to do this before. They tried to do this whenever it came to bullets. Hey, well, we can't take away your gun, but we're going to shrink the size of your magazine, and we're going to make it to where you can't put anything in it anyway. That's one of the things that they tried to do. Tried and failed. Not with shrinking the size of your magazine. There's got to be a pun in there somewhere. I feel a pun in there somewhere. But this is just another backdoor method to restrict gun rights. That's all this is. That's all this amounts to. That's it. And speaking of restricting rights, this headline was a holy crap whenever I read this. Now, this is not the first time something like this has come across my newsfeed. Not at all. Okay. And I'm really not surprised about this whatsoever, because let's face it, the last thing that they want, our nation wants, is for us to have secrets, or to have privacy. They really don't like privacy. The government, anybody else out there, nobody likes us having freedom. So this headline, let me get into it. It's back. Senators want Earn It bill to scan all online messages. Holy crap. Holy crap. Now, this isn't necessarily what you may think it is. This isn't something to give to like backdoor access to, the government to scan, all of online messages. It also is seeking to criminalize encryption or end user encryption, like Signal, like a few other ones they specifically mentioned in here. It would outlaw that, and it would criminalize, that type of hosting platform that allows that. But this wouldn't necessarily give a backdoor to, for the federal government and law enforcement agencies to read your messages and emails and to see your pictures and anything else that you may put on the interwebs. Is what this does is it kind of creates a panel of private businesses that will do that on behalf of the government and would report any illegal activity. And one of the guises that they are using is basically threatening these companies like Amazon, like, whomever else that they, put in here, threatening them with revoking their Section 230 statuses, which I think that there's a lot of a lot of flaws in the 230, not in how it is written and what it is intended to protect, but in its application and how they really don't care if companies like Facebook misuse that. But they are also doing this under the guise of child labor protection. That's one of the guises they're doing this under. They're trying to give it a cause that people would be able to stand behind. And if you are against this, what's it called, the Earn It bill, then what, are you against our children being safe? I mean, you can already see the headlines writing themselves for people that oppose this. Okay. But I definitely recommend checking out this article and reading a little bit into it. I did, and I was actually not surprised on one of the co-sponsors, I guess you can say, of this. It was South Carolina's own Republican Senator Lindsey Graham as being part of this. Gee, big surprise there, And this actually came out in, I believe it was 2020, whenever it first came out, with very unpopular. But yeah, that's they're wanting to totally remove any online privacy that you think you have. That's what they're looking at doing. That's precisely what they're looking at doing. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this one. And I tell you what, guys, this is something that should infuriate you, and it should be something that you are not surprised about. I mean, I'm not really surprised. They've been wanting to do this for quite some time. They absolutely hate it whenever companies like Apple actually stands up to them and they won't allow, a law enforcement agency just to unlock a phone. They're like, no, not going to do that. They were really, really mad at Signal whenever Signal refused to give up any user information to government. They were very upset about that. So, I'm not surprised that this type of action is coming out, that they're wanting to do this, to eliminate online privacy. And they're taking they're taking government out of it in hopes that they would kind of, it's like, oh, well, this isn't government that's doing it. This is free market companies that are doing this, trying to basically say that, oh, we're not forcing this to be done. This isn't a violation of your Constitution. That's what they're going to say. That's exactly why they put it in here the way that they did. They're having a panel of privately owned businesses that are going to be the people in charge of doing this. It's not a violation of your constitutional rights, your Fifth Amendment protections. It's not a violation of that. This isn't a violation. This isn't the government going in there and looking at all your stuff, looking at all your pictures, looking at all your emails, all your messages, everything. This isn't the government doing that. This private business is doing that. That's what they're going to say. So they're going to claim that this isn't a violation of your rights, and I call bullshit. I do. Because this is still a bill to force these companies to do it, to create the agency that would be in charge of this. It's still government oversight. Still a violation of your freedom. Definitely. So guys, we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we return, we are going to talk about Whoopi Goldberg. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about what got Whoopi into hot water on The View and why she got suspended for 2 weeks, maybe indefinitely. We don't know. So just a couple minutes, guys, and I will be right back. This is The Ho Ho Show.
You are correct. You are correct. correct. You are correct.
Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. I figured, considering the topic, this was kind of fitting. All y'all's out there already like, oh, whoopee. Yeah. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, all right? My stance on this may actually kind of surprise you because I'm going to do something that I never thought that I would be doing here on the Ho Ho Show. Actually, two things I never thought I'd ever be doing. One is talking about anything that goes on The View because I hate The View. Brandon Patricia goes, nah, actually, I'd rather enjoy crop dusting old people at the local Walmart. You know, yeah. But I never thought that I have no use for The View. They are a bunch of just mean, ugly, and I'm not talking looks. I'm talking they're ugly on the inside people. They are rude. They are obnoxious. They are loud. They don't necessarily win an argument by putting forth the best version of said argument. They yell. They overpower their guests. Why any Republican, conservative, libertarian, anybody that is on the right, why they would ever go on that show is beyond me. And truth be told, I consider you an idiot if you even do it. Yes. It's that stupid to do it. Because you know you're not going to get a good argument. You're not going to get a debate. Yeah, you're not going to get a debate. You're going to get an argument. You're going to get a yelling match, and you're not going to get two words in because you're going to be overpowered by all the other people that are there. It's stupid to even do it. It really is. I have no use for The View whatsoever. And Whoopi Goldberg especially. Why? Because she is one of the people whom has helped in doing this whole cancel culture thing and trying to get people removed that she don't agree with. So on that aspect, I consider everything that's coming after her. And this is the whole thing as far as the title goes. Karma strikes again because they deserve everything that is coming. You know, everything that has come to them so far, they deserve it. Why? Because they are some of the people that help do this with the hatred, with the cancel culture, with everything else. Daytrip puts in there and goes, hate, The View, and I'm a woman. Yeah. I mean, it's not a fan of The View. I'm really not. I'm not a fan. But in all honesty, I got to tell you this. I understand what she said. And I, in a matter of speaking, I agree with her. Yeah. Did I just blow y'all's mind right there by saying that I agree with what Whoopi Goldberg said? Now, I have the clip, all right? 6 minutes and 18, 19 seconds, right around in there. I have the clip of this segment on The View. Oh. Sorry. My bad. It comes out. But anyway, I agree with what Whoopi said. You know, oh, I would be on the side of wrong. Hear me out. Absolutely. Hear me out on this. Okay. Because I'm going to premise this. Okay. Because here in America, okay, when things that are racist is boiled down to nothing more than the color of your skin, then yeah. Because they premise that with white on white crime, therefore, it's not racist. They don't consider black on black crime to be racist. So on that aspect, then, yeah. So I don't, I mean, granted, you go somewhere else, you go out to Europe, you go to wherever, then of course, just because you're white doesn't mean that you're just white, because there are a lot of differences between different people from different countries that you can pick up on just by looking at somebody. Absolutely, you can. You can pick up based off of their, their overall facial structure, bone structure, body build, all kinds of different things. There's a lot of things in there. So I mean, when you're over there, then yeah, there's a lot more differences. But here in America, whenever you have such the melting pot of what's going on, I mean, good grief, man. Whenever people ask my race, it's like, dude, I'm a Heinz 57. My ancestors were booted out of every country on the planet, and we wound up here. I'm not any one. I am a blending of many. So yeah, Jewish isn't white. It's more than that. I know what you're saying, but I also understand what she's saying, though, too. All right, but let's go ahead and listen to the clip. I actually got to pull it up. Let me get it up here. Oh, I guess I got to double click it, don't I?
To racism
Here we go.
At a very early age, which they are, then your child should be okay with having a little bit of discomfort and learning about the racism that exists.
I observe that young children are naturally
Speaking pledge CRT.
And yeah, so to school.
That was an oops. That thing started way in the middle of it. Let me go ahead and start this at the beginning. I apologize. That was kind of stupid. All right, here we go. Now this is the real start of this.
Schools are being accused of banning books after one in Washington state pulled To Kill a Mockingbird off the required reading list after complaints from students and parents, including a former black student who said it made her uncomfortable, and a Tennessee school pulled the graphic novel Mouse out of their lessons on the Holocaust because it contained some nudity and some bad language. Personally, I'm shocked because, given the story of Mouse, I'm surprised that that's what made you uncomfortable. The fact that there was some nudity and I mean, it's about the Holocaust, the killing of 6 million people, but that didn't bother you.
Now, on that aspect, I completely agree with her. Why are they, complaining about that whenever you have that's not even anything remotely about what the Holocaust, okay, you're mad about the nudity in there? What, really? And she has a very good point on that. You're not mad about the killing of the Jews. You're mad about the nudity in there. Really, what is your argument about? Really? I get that. Let's move on.
But the naked
I'm not sure that they don't use the naked part as a kind of a canard to throw you off from the fact that they don't like history that makes white people look bad.
Well, this is white people doing it to white people.
Yeah.
So this is, y'all go fight amongst yourselves, but don't,
Now, again, I get her limited view on this, looking through racism through the lens of an American view of, there's such a blending going on, and I understand that, again, because these are people who don't believe that black on black crime is racist. So, I mean, I understand that. And again, she did premise this by the problem with the Holocaust was the killing of all those people. She got that part right. Moving on.
Look at what kids watch these days and the music they listen to say that when proving or showing them a work of history or art or something that happened is bad language or nudity, turn off reality TV, turn off the radio, turn off everything they're doing, because kids are exposed to this stuff really early in inappropriate situations, not ones where you're learning or teaching.
Yeah, and the nudity is a drawing of his mom who died during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean, in Mouse, which is the other thing. It's just insane.
But
I don't know what's going on.
It's about the words.
It's about the N-word.
Yes,
The girl is
it's about
triggered
the
in the
words.
class by
well,
the word.
because if you're sitting amongst lots of students and you're reading it out loud,
Yeah.
it comes up a lot and makes people uncomfortable.
And especially if you're the only black
kid
student
in this,
there. I
and
mean,
so
Okay, I got to stop that there. You know, how old is Whoopi? Did she go to school? Can she read at a 3rd grade level? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she's at least a couple years older than I am. But one of the things that she was talking about there was like having a book in class that you got to read that has the N-word in it, and, you know, being the only black kid in an otherwise white class. And that's got to be rough on you. I'm sorry. I don't really think that would be the rough part about that. I think I would hate to be the white kid that would have to read that in the book that I'm reading, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You know, I wouldn't want to be that guy, you know, that to have to read that in, you know, whatever. That just, I thought that kind of cracked me up. It's like, reverse the roles on that, man. Which would you much rather be? You know, I wouldn't want to be the black kid, or I wouldn't want to be the white kid. I definitely wouldn't want to be the white kid. Holy crap. That's just ridiculous. But I could assume that Whoopi Goldberg can read at a 3rd grade level. I would assume so anyway.
that was what they're talking about triggering. I don't know if that should stop people from having it as reading, but it's stopping as required reading.
Well, there's an entire bill moving through the Florida legislature right now about banning any conversation in schools that make people feel uncomfortable because of their race or gender. And there's also in Florida a bill banning talking about LGBTQ conversations. It's being referred to as Don't Say Gay. So I don't know what's happening with all of this banning going on. You know, we talked about Beloved being banned, Mouse, To Kill a Mockingbird, conversations. I think it's making it very difficult to teach kids. Well, and all these people who talk about and complain about people being snowflakes, how do you not raise snowflakes if you don't expose them to reality?
Right? This was
Okay, there's a couple points in there I want to make right quick. Machine puts it in, she has no excuse to be this stupid. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't. But there was a couple things in there, okay? That when you have a culture that basically allows the safe space of people and everything else, you know, you don't have opposing arguments being allowed, then of course you are raising a generation of people I got you. But you're going to have, you know, an entire generation of people that can't take any type of opposition. That's what we have, you know, because they're, you know, but this is the world that these ladies of The View has helped to create, which is kind of like, wait a second, you know, why are you guys mad about the very world that you're creating by having people that can't handle, you know, any type of an opposing argument, an opposing view, and aren't willing to even debate said view? You know, I mean, that's what you have, isn't it? I mean, this is the world that they've helped create, and now they are wanting to claim that they're upset about that. Yeah.
The plan with these anti-history laws that started being passed, these alleged CRT laws.
Yeah, that was the other thing with these. The other point I was wanting to make is about, you know, about this bill. It's like, well, you know, wait a second, because you know one group of people. Shut up. I'm being nice, all right? Shush. But you know that there is one group of people that they're not going to care about, one color of people, one race of people that they're not going to care about whether they get offended of anything that's being put in there. And that would be white people. They're not going to care about us. So what if we're offended? It doesn't matter. They don't care. So, I mean, yeah, it's not going to be one of them things that will be applied equally to protect any race. But yeah, moving on.
Started being passed. I don't think people saw far enough into the future. You start banning discussions about race, then you start banning discussions about the Holocaust, then you start banning discussions about the LGBTQ community. That's where it started, and this was all very planned, and in my view.
Very planned? Oh, I'm sure. But there's something that she talks about that is restricting the debate. Now, there's something that I don't remember if that was this section per se or whether that's the next section. But talking about, getting rid of like CRT, claiming that, that Republicans are against CRT because we don't want a discussion about historical facts and a discussion about racism in schools. That's not true. Because CRT doesn't teach about that. It doesn't try to it is being racist. It is teaching children to be racist. It is not teaching us about racism. There's a difference. That's what CRT does. It doesn't teach us about, it teaches children to be. That's why Republicans, people on the right, conservatives, libertarians, that's why we have a problem with CRT. Because it's not teaching about racism. It is teaching racism.
And what bothers me the most is people saying, I don't want my children to be uncomfortable. Well, how about your children being uncomfortable in a way of learning empathy, in a way of learning sorrow, in a way of being able to empathize with other people's plights? I've always said if my children are subjected to racism at a very early age, which they are, then your child should be okay with having a little bit of discomfort and learning about the racism that exists.
I observe that young children are naturally empathetic.
Yeah.
And that the empathy is kind of drained out of them by their parents and things that they hear out there.
It's that song. It's the
You
song
got to
that
be
Barbara...
carefully
That's
taught
right.
from South Pacific.
Yeah.
My grandson, I remember when he was around 3 or 4 years old, there was a kid who was in trouble for some reason, and I mean, it gives me chills. My grandson put his arm around the kid, like, I'm with you. And when you talk about empathy, children are naturally like that.
Well, it's the parents'
And
issue.
if you
It's a
teach a
parents'
white
issue.
kid what happened to his friend who happens to be black, he might feel terrible about what happened. That doesn't mean he feels bad that he did something.
Exactly.
This is the confusion that they're creating, I believe.
Something interesting in there, it's I keep hitting the wrong button. I didn't mean to do that. We are not, by default, racist. It is not something that is part of our DNA. It is something that is taught to us. Children aren't like that. They're not mean like that. I mean, that might be selfish, sure. But they're selfish towards their own stuff that they want or something that they covet from somebody else. It's not like it's, I'm just going to hate you because of your color. No, kids don't see that. Kids don't see that. It's something that's taught. Morgan Freeman said quite a while back ago, if you want to get rid of racism, quit talking about it. How true was that? Pretty stinking true.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that colleges, this all started in colleges and universities and not wanting to make kids uncomfortable. And we talked about it once here on the show with actually Van Jones when he said, if I send my kids to school, I want them to be uncomfortable. I want people to push back on their beliefs because otherwise we're not preparing kids to go out into the real world. We're preparing them for a world that doesn't exist outside of their own house.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it because the Holocaust isn't about race.
No.
Oops, I forgot to unmute. Okay, now here's where she gets into it. To me, you are all equally worthless. Absolutely. But here's where she gets into it. Okay, now I want you to pay attention to this because she is acting like she believes as though she is the smartest person in the room. That's exactly what she's acting like in here. There is the pause. There is the I am just waiting for somebody to ask me the question of, well, if it's not about race, then what's it about? You know, and that's like, okay, well, that's kind of telling a little bit to me on how she feels about herself or how she views herself. But let's continue.
No, it's not about
maybe
race.
ethnicity.
Well, they
No,
consider
it's
Jews
about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about
Well,
race.
what is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
And I can kind of agree with her on that. Now, granted, yes, it is about race. We all know this. You know, anybody who reads history, yes. But she's making the point of it's about man's inhumanity to man. And on that aspect, yeah, I agree with her on that. I'm okay with that. You know, now, yes, it is about race. Obviously, it's about race. The Germans themselves said it was about race. It's about race. We all know this, but she was trying to make another point in this. You know, that's what she was trying to do. She's trying to make another point. And that point, I actually kind of agree with it. And that's what the problem is nowadays, isn't it? You know, it's the aspect that we have taken humanity out of so many different things. I mean, good grief, they used to teach gun safety in school back in the 50s. You know, we can't do that now. Why? Because, we're afraid that something bad might happen. Why? Because we've taken humanity out of it. And it's like we don't have the same respect for life that we once did in this country. I mean, it's kind of sad about that, you know. And that would be slavery too. Yeah, taking, you know, about the inhumanity of man. Is that what you're referring to, Machine? Anyway, let's continue.
That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's
Well,
about
but
going
it's not-
after
it's
Jews
not about
ideal race.
gypsies and
But these are two
Romans.
white groups of people.
Well, they
How do
were
we-
after black
They
people
didn't see
too.
them as white.
And they were
But
after
you're missing the
homosexuals.
point. You're
Yeah.
missing the point.
Yeah.
The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So is it, if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, I don't wanna be like that.
Well, hopefully.
I don't want to be cool.
Yeah,
And
well,
entertain.
yeah, most kids, they don't want to be cruel.
No. They don't.
And we're living in an era where people are comparing vaccine cards to the yellow stars, where people are comparing vaccinations to what Anne Frank went through.
Yeah.
So it is necessary for kids to learn about
They
the
have
Holocaust.
to. By the way,
about man's inhumanity to man, however it exposes itself. I have to cut you off.
I just want to
It's
say that
fast.
mouse was banned and it flew to top 20 of Amazon's rules last week.
So, yeah, good times. Good times. I understand what she was trying to say. The point that she was trying to make. Now, again, guys, don't get me wrong, all right? This is somebody whom has spent quite a bit of her career silencing conservative views, conservative points. I am absolutely, you know, it's kind of an aspect of it's like, dude, of all the things that she's done, this is what you're going to make it about, you know. But I don't feel sorry for her on any repercussions that's coming from this. I really don't. I don't feel sorry for her one bit whatsoever. Because regardless, she asked for this. She really did. She asked for this. Yes, it was stupid. Yes, it was ignorant. Yeah, she shouldn't have said it. You know, it's kind of one of the things, maybe she should have researched a little bit before she started lipping off about it. She wasn't really downplaying the Holocaust, though. I mean, she acknowledged it for what it is, for what it was. You know, that it was the killing of the, killing of the nation, killing of the Jews. She did. Yeah, I know. I didn't reply to it. So, yeah. I don't pity her for what's happening to her. You know, I know she got banned for got suspended for 2 weeks. Oh, she is an idiot. You know, I'm not saying that she's not an idiot. I'm just saying I understand the point that she was making. You know, that's what I'm saying. I understood the point that she was making. You know, she was trying to broaden, broaden it a little bit. I get that. She is an idiot. Absolutely. I don't want to do it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take another break before we get into other stuff. We do have a few other things to talk about. So just a couple minutes. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking a little bit about the convoy up there in Canada, the trucker convoy. And one of the things that they are doing with video surveillance to try to hide what's going on up there, that right after this. Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you? Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. All right, so I am sure that y'all have heard about the trucker convoy that is up in Canada, the protest over the vaccine mandates up there. And, you know, it's kind of telling just how afraid of this that they are whenever they start shutting down the feed, the public feed for, you know, the roadside cameras. Is kind of telling that they really don't want this to be viewed all across the world. They've shut that down. You know, I seen the feed and it was like, holy cow, so many of these camera feeds were just shut off. You know, shut down, turned off, the feed shut down, or at least the public access to it was shut down. And here you have GoFundMe going in on this, and they canceled the Canadian Truckers fundraiser. Now, again, this is something that didn't surprise me whenever I seen this. This article is from Newsmax, by the way. I wasn't surprised to see this because we know how GoFundMe is. You know, they're okay with having things on the left put up there, but whenever it comes to things on the right, they are overcritical and they cancel it, they shut it down. I mean, none of this should surprise anybody. But I seen on where did that article go? Somebody, I think, talking about a lawsuit that they are, you know, a lawsuit against GoFundMe. Yeah, here it is. Forgot to bring that one up. This is from the Daily Wire. DeSantis, of course, a pop-up. Yay, gotta love pop-ups. DeSantis announces Florida will investigate GoFundMe after the company shut down the Freedom Convoy. So, I mean, yeah, and you know, this is the thing. It's like, look, you know, none of this surprises me. I'm not shocked about this. I'm really not, you know, but it's very telling and infuriating that you have companies that are so politically motivated that they don't let any, I mean, like, come on, the GoFundMe is getting money from this. So I don't understand the business practice involved in this and shutting down something that, you know, they're going to get, you know, this is a big thing. You know, the amount of donations that they're going to be getting, holy crap, I haven't seen a dollar amount on that. If you guys have, oh, wow. GoFundMe to commandeer $9 million in donations sent to support truckers and give it to the cause, or give it to causes of their own choosing. $9 million that GoFundMe is going to commandeer. They're going to take it. They're going to steal it. That's basically what that said. Ron DeSantis put in here, goes, it is fraud for GoFundMe to commandeer $9 million in donations sent to support truckers and give it to causes of their own choosing. So yeah, an investigation is what they're talking about doing. I know if they're going to do something like this, shouldn't they give the money back to the people that donated it? You know, and that's why I was saying that this is, you know, bad business practice for GoFundMe to just shut down the fundraiser because, you know, they get a kickback of that money. Obviously they do. I don't know what the percentage is, but that's just outright theft. To take the money that was donated for a cause that they don't believe in, and so because they don't believe in it, they're just going to steal that money. That's theft. That's fraud. DeSantis is right. That absolutely is fraud. That's criminal. Holy crap. 9 million. I'm not even sure how long this was up. So it does say that they're getting the money back. Expect to see the refund within 7 to 10 days. So why it said that they commandeered $9 million, I don't know why. If they're also saying in the same headline that, you know, that they're getting that money back. I don't know. 12 million? Okay, 12 million. Yeah. This kind of stuff is just, yeah. You know, and I don't get the business practice of GoFundMe to shut down something like this because, you know, like I said, you know, this is money in their pocket. This is a, you know, this is a well-known cause that there's a lot of people getting behind. You know, GoFundMe is getting a kickback of this. Why would they want to shut down their own, you know, revenue drawing fundraiser for a politically motivated decision? And I completely agree with your sentiment there, Brandon. Damage has already been done. Absolutely. But I mean, maybe you can explain that to me. Why would they be so stupid to basically cut off their own balls just for a politically motivated view? Because that's what it amounts to. I mean, how much money could they have gotten if they would have just let this thing fly? And it's not like this is going on in America. This is going on in Canada. And I got to be honest with you. See, Daytrip put in here, goes, leave the damn truckers alone. They are the #1 essential profession. Yeah. And that's one of the things I had to laugh about this too, because I've been driving for a while now. And at least every other year you hear about, there's going to be a protest, we're going to be shutting down and basically clogging the roads and all this other kind of stuff. You hear about these demonstrations all the freaking time. All the time you hear about it. Okay, now I've driven up in Canada. I drive down in the U.S. I didn't say he that time. I didn't. Shush. I behaved that time. I did not. Did I? I didn't. I didn't say that. But anyway, we hear that all the time. Every single freaking year, if not every other year, we hear about some type of a trucker protest that we're going to be doing down in the States, and it never happens. And I've driven up in Canada, I've driven down here in the States, and what amazes me is up in Canada, you actually have more freedoms for truck drivers. They have more of an ability to kind of govern yourself on that one. They do. Here we are supposed to be the land of the free because of the brave. And they actually have more freedom to truckers up in Canada. How sad is that? Now, that's not even to mention that every single one of them regulations is completely unconstitutional and shouldn't even exist. I mean, we're just leaving that argument off the table because all of it was done not by Congress, not by laws, but done by, bureaucrats that are not beholden to the people in the form of regulations through the Department of Transportation, which is and derives its power from the executive branch, which does not have the constitutional authority to write law, but here you have it. Our entire lives as truck drivers are governed by the executive branch, not by the legislative branch, and that is unconstitutional. But yeah, it's kind of sad that you actually have more rights up in Canada as a truck driver than what you do down here in the States, and they didn't fight a Revolutionary War. We did, and we have less freedom. But anyway, but it actually kind of amazes me, though, going back to my point I was making earlier. It kind of amazes me that Canada, and I love my brothers to the north, don't get me wrong. I really do. I like it up there. It's a lot of beautiful country up there. People, awesome. I've had some interesting run-ins with people up in Canada. Awesome stuff, And they were able to rally the truckers together around a cause before we were able to. How sad is that? You would think that we would be... you would think that we would be able to do that. Well, a song comes to mind. Anything you can do, I can do better. They did it first, and they done a pretty good job with it, rallying the truckers together and actually for a cause and doing it, getting her done. But every single year, or if not every other year, we can't seem to get anything together and doing what we're saying we're going to do. French fries and gravy. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I was in a restaurant, up in Cardinal, Ontario. I say I think that was basically going over, if you're taking Thousand Island Bridge and you're crossing up that direction. And I think it's Cardinal, up around Lancaster, Cardinal area. Yeah, they wanted to protest something, protest a driver getting a CDL who couldn't speak English, wrecking in Colorado. Yeah. You know, that's one of them things that amazes me because it actually is. It actually is. Like, okay, you have to be able to read and write English in order to get a CDL in the U.S. You absolutely do. That's part of it because the signs are in English. You know, so I mean, you have to be able to read and write English. But how many people that you know that don't have a workable understanding of the language that are still getting their CDL? You know, to have translators in there to help administer the test. I mean, that's not right. I mean, you're supposed to be able to do that. I mean, that's part of the DOT regulation involved in that. You know, but they try to sidestep it, you know. But yes, but up there, I was at a restaurant, and you know, the lady asked me, my waitress asked me, "Do you want gravy or ketchup with your French fries?" And I immediately was like, wait, when in Rome, I'll do gravy. So yes, I had gravy with my French fries, and I tell you what, it was amazing, dude. Oh, was that the trucking company that had that accident? Or are you saying that's a trucking company that, and I can't pronounce that now. I actually, you know, that's one of them trucking company names that I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce it. SAIIA. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I don't know. But are they ones that have, you know, Spanish translators involved in helping their CDL holders get CDL? Or people that are, yeah. That could be either way. I have no idea how to pronounce that name, though. That name of that trucking company. I got no idea. I don't even know. But yeah, gravy with French fries is absolutely amazing. Now, this wasn't a restaurant that was like, you know, a Denny's or any place like that. I mean, this was a ma and pa, you know, small restaurant. It was, you know, just it was one of them type of places, you know, more home cooking and not, you know, like your fast food version of it, you know, white or brown gravy. A boot. Yes. And they say a boot and they do throw A's in there. It's absolutely hilarious. And it was brown gravy. It was actually kind of cool because it was kind of a cross between like Popeye's brown gravy and Kentucky Fried Chicken brown gravy. You know, I mean, it was kind of I mean, it was good. I mean, it had some awesome flavor to it. It really was, but it was brown gravy. I didn't do the white gravy. I don't know how I feel about white gravy and my French fries, but the brown gravy, that was awesome. You know, and it was some good gravy. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about it. And yes, whenever I would come down, I mean, I would, you know, I went to, it's like, I've been in 5 different provinces up there in Canada. I've been in Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario, and Quebec. Those are the 5 provinces I've been in, you know, heading up to, going up from North Dakota, you know, the Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. And then whenever I'd head out on the east side, crossing in on the Ambassador Bridge, Detroit, Ontario, and Montreal. Not a fan of Montreal. I am not a fan of Montreal at all. Don't like Montreal. Really? She said back in the day, Dairy Queen had some good white gravy for fries. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. But brown gravy, that's what they had. And they had a hamburger that was absolutely amazing. It was called the Big Ass, AZZ Big Ass Burger. It was a good burger. It was a really good burger. Anyway, moving on. Y'all's going to make me hungry. Stop it. But yes, when in Rome, Do as the Romans do. And yes, I had gravy for my French fries rather than ketchup. It was some good stuff. It really was. And if y'all's, I have all these articles that I use in the show up over on the website. You can head on over to thehohoshow.com, click on that newsfeed tab, and you will see the magazine on Flipboard, which is my go-to shop, my go-to whatever. That's a place where I go to get my news stuff from. Brandon says, "Ooh, what are you saying ooh about, man? What are you saying ooh about? About gravy on French fries? Dude, don't knock it till you try it, man. Don't knock it till you try it." Dude, that ain't no lie. Brian says, "KFC brown gravy will clean you out." That ain't no lie. But dude, I'm more of a fan of Popeye's gravy. I like Popeye's gravy. I like Popeye's. What am I saying? I'm actually kind of upset about with Popeyes because like I used to get like their I'd go in there and get their jambalaya because they actually had pretty decent jambalaya. I'm a fan of jambalaya, but I don't know if this is something that they've taken off the menu like company wide. But like for the past year, maybe two, jambalaya has not been on the menu. Montreal sucks. You are absolutely right. Montreal sucks. But yeah, but their jambalaya has not been on the menu, and I'm not sure what the issue is with there. I don't know if that's a company-wide, if that's a new thing with Popeyes, or if that was something that, from the pandemic, not being able to get certain ingredients to make the jambalaya, so they just took it off the menu because it was hard to get. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I hope they bring it back because I love me some jambalaya. Dude, I went on a mission trip down to Slidell, Louisiana. And, dude, I tell you what, they took care of us down there. Down there for a week, and, man, family, cooking every meal. And I mean cooking meals, man. I mean, dude, you ain't walking away from that table hungry. And you're not walking away from that table at all because you're waddling away. They just whoo, man. I go to PT's Barbecue, half chicken with collard greens. All right, you know what? We're done talking about this whole food thing. I'm done talking about food. What else we got? What else we got? Let's see here. I know there was something else I was wanting to get into. Yeah, I don't care about that one. I might actually be... Yeah, actually, I think that covers it. Holy crap. Oh, well, there was one article I was kind of wanting to get into, but I didn't actually get a chance to really read into it. That was a fight over the right to repair cars turns ugly with Subaru and Kia dealers, disabling remote start and maintenance alerts. Interesting, but I didn't really read into that article, so I'm not going to get into it. So, guys, that is all I have for you today. Y'all have yourself a wonderful one. I'm hungry. Yes, I'm hungry too. I think I might have me some chicken nuggets. I like chicken nuggets. Give me some barbecue sauce. Good stuff. But anyway, y'all have yourself a great one. Thank you for stopping by. Good night. Sleep tight, and if the bed bugs bite, well, by golly, bite them back. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.